Hello and welcome, everyone. We are back with episode 3 of our podcast, Trauma Bond and Elixir. We're talking about forgiveness today because it's such an important topic and it's something that people with trauma, they suffer with this a lot. They go through extreme lengths to try and fathom and understand how is it that their therapist or their friends or their family is just telling them to forgive when they are holding on to so much anger and so much resentment. And at times our mind goes over and over what happened, and we're trying to come up with ways to get revenge or to pay back, or you know a lot that goes in, and the last thing on your mind is forgiveness. So let's talk about that. My name is Lucia Costin. I'm a rapid transmissional therapist, and I've been dealing with people who have been wronged for a very long time now. And first thing that you need to understand is, if you do decide to forgive, or if you do decide to give forgiveness consideration, it does not mean that you are excusing the behavior. Um, However, it does mean that you're showing yourself mercy and you're showing yourself compassion, and that you are accepting the suffering that you've been through. And second, it kind of sends this message out there that despite what happened, you are overcoming it. You're growing, you're developing, you're thriving, and you're no longer held back by the past and by what happened. So, if you do decide to forgive, you have to be driven by this desire to let go of the anger. It's not about absolving the aggressor and giving him a clean slate. Um, it's far from that. So, at times I see people that they've been to therapy, and the therapist keeps on pushing and pushing and pushing forgiveness, um, and the purpose is to kind of forget about what happened, to forget about the unpleasant events. But what that does is it further increases the abuse, because you are invalidating that person's experience. So you're further abusing that person by denying them the hurt they've been through, the event, and all of that. All those feelings that you have, all that anger, those are valid feelings. And anger is not a bad feeling, contrary to what we're being told. It's not a bad feeling as long as you know how to deal with it and how to channel it towards something good. So instead of channeling it towards, I want revenge, towards, I am so angry every day when I wake up, towards the flashbacks, you channel it towards finding a solution. You're channeling it towards thriving. And a lot of the times I see people wanting to confront the aggressor, the abuser, for what happened. They just want to scream in their face and, let all that anger out on the person who hurt them. And I understand where they're coming from. I understand their anger and I understand their frustration. However, 99% of the times, it's again further invalidating and further re traumatizing, because your abuser doesn't really care. You are the one who's being eaten alive by all these feelings. You are the one who's carrying this burden everywhere you go. And if it's a family member, if it's somebody you see on a daily basis or very often, they will brush it off. They will not acknowledge it. And then you will think, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me that this person cannot realize they're hurting me. And again, what you're further doing is you're putting your your healing journey in the hands of your abuser. If they can forgive, if they can acknowledge, then I will be able to move on. When in fact, you don't really need that acknowledgement to move on. You can shine in their face because you will be, you've done the work on yourself and you are able to let all of that go. But again, that inner work, that desire to forgive should come from within you. It's like the straw that broke the camel's back. You're sick and tired of carrying the blame and carrying the burden of what happened. And you want to show yourself compassion and forgiveness and let it go. You're forgiving you. You're not forgiving anybody else. All of this inner work, all of this moving forward and thriving and building that life you so desire, it's all for you. And when we do have these very hard, extreme events, we feel unworthy. We feel unworthy to create that life that we wanted and that life that we dreamed of, because suddenly we feel like we're tainted. We feel like we're dirty in some way, and we feel we should be punished and we should suffer for something that was so not our fault in the first place. So to wrap it all up, approving or excusing the behavior is not forgiving. It doesn't mean you're erasing the event, and it doesn't cancel the responsibility of the aggressor. What it does do, it's you're accepting the fact that there was injustice, and you're accepting the fact that there was a traumatic event or there was an abuse. You're reducing your desire for revenge. You're channeling that anger and you're channeling those frustrations towards building the life you all the time wanted and you always deserved. You're reducing the need to avoid the past, and you're increasing your compassion towards yourself. So that's on forgiveness for today. Um, I have a nice exercise. Um, However, if you feel that your emotions are very raw, if you feel like you cannot even envision the person standing in front of you, then this exercise is not for you. I would not want you to be re traumatized or triggered in any way, shape, or form. So, if you can allow yourself to feel those feelings as you remember them, um, and just think about how it affected your life, and just reflect upon that. And as much as you can, allow those feelings to come up and let them be there, let them be felt until there's no need for them to be felt anymore. And accept the fact that what happened is in the past, and it does not define who you are today. The person you were then is a completely different person from the person that you are today. And I want you to look at forgiving as emptying a cup. You're emptying a cup, you're cleaning it, and you're making space for new positive emotions and new experiences. So I hope you found this helpful. I will see you guys next week, and we're going to talk about anger and how to manage it